all new. AM 1150 WTMP.com.
Okay, Tampa Bay. Here we go. Good to do it. All right. It's good that we got Sean Shaw coming before us because I can hear the show coming in. Sean's got a good thing going there. So this is his first show. This is going to be a good deal, a good arrangement. Great to be back at a new time slot. Porch Talk Radio. Again, our listeners are slowly finding us. It's only been 3 weeks here at this new time slot, and every week we get more and more of our people finding out where we at. Because I had a couple of people actually asking me this morning, what time your show on? We know you're still there. We just don't know what time. And so everybody remember 1 o'clock on Saturdays is the new time slot for Porch Talk Radio right here on WTMP. So, let me give out the call-in numbers for those who've been listening to talk shows on TMP all morning. You know the number by heart, but we actually bring some new people because this show actually have a lot of white folks listening. So, y'all people who don't understand we're not politically correct. So we have probably as many white folks listen to this show as we do black folks listen to this show. And as more and more of them find us in our new time slot, we got to make sure that the ones listening who want to call has the opportunity to call in. Call-in number for Porch Talk Radio here on WTMP. Call-in number if you want to call in to the show. The calling number is 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. My personal number, my cell phone number, Eddie Adams' cell phone number is 813-230-3312. My personal cell phone number, 813-230-3312. All right. The website. For those who want to go to the website is simple. PorchTalkRadio.com. PorchTalkRadio.com. Those people who want to send me an email, that also is simple. Eddie, EDDIE, at PorchTalkRadio.com. Our sponsors, the people who allow us to bring you this show every week, and we want to make sure that we thank them, and we thanking them up front before we get started and getting caught up in any political stuff that's going on in any conversation. For those who want to call in, go ahead and call in if you want to. But our sponsors are the Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee, and they have been with us for a while, since the very beginning. Matter of fact, this show started out being completely sponsored by the Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee. So we thank them for getting us started, for starting this voice in Tampa Bay. It's a different voice than you've heard all morning. You've heard talk shows since 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whenever they start, first thing in the morning. And they all have had a trend, a leaning, probably liberal, I would say without much of a doubt, liberal leaning, and Democratic without much of a second thought. But this show is a little bit different. We the show that give you the other side, because again, if you're going to be smart and you're going to be educated and intellectual about voting and making voting decisions and decisions about what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be doing it, you need to get both sides, and most of the time you only get one, and it's okay. A lot of people like to get decisions and conversations that they agree with and that agree with them. But that don't mean the other side don't exist. That don't mean the other side is not there. And here of late, the other side, when it comes to political clout and political battles, the other side wins a lot of those. Thinking that there was like 29 voting slots in the last elections, and just not to remind you and rub it in, but the Republicans won 22 of them.
Again?
So again, just so you guys know what we're dealing with, what we're talking about. The whole idea and the whole conversation is that there's two parties, two main parties, and if you're only hearing from one and about one, your views and opinion will be limited. So, again, the Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee is our main sponsor, who got us up, got us started, got us running.
Thank you.
Todd Jones, property appraiser. Todd's been with us all year. He's been with us for a couple of years, and again, Todd's not running for anything, but he's probably the most credentialed property appraiser in the state of Florida.
And a good person.
And he's a great person. Print fast. My friend John Desbrow over there meeting all your printing needs. Also, if you need a car, you can give him a car. Give him a call. He got a car lot over there, and his number is 813-621-9444. Again, John Desbrow, print fast, 813-621-9444. You've heard a whole bunch of stuff this morning. I kind of listen. I get a chance. I have a couple of meetings first thing Saturday morning, and then when I'm in and out the car, I listen, which is probably what many of you do. So I kind of hear a little of one show and a little of another show, and then on the way in, because I live in Tampa Terrace, I get to hear the show that comes on before me. Probably hear the most of that. I did hear a show this morning at 8 o'clock. Which was another new show. So TMP got 2 new shows in the same week. So they just started this morning, and I heard that show, and they had David Straz, and they had Orlando Gould, and they had a couple other people on the show. And I thought, it was a good show. It talked about a lot of good things, but there is a trend and there is a tone to all the shows that come on Saturday morning, except for this one. Well, we don't come on Saturday morning; we come on Saturday afternoon. So that's a good thing also. And when we will plan to talk primary local political stuff, but the name of the show is Porch Talk Radio. So we could talk about anything you call in and want to talk about. That's what I say. So it's your show. We just here to facilitate and make some things happen and make sure that the whole community is aware of what's happening. So not just local. We talk about some national or some state. We talk about everything because, again, you're not just affected by local news, but most of you are primarily interested in local news. But again, we'll talk about some of this national stuff. And like I say, anything you bring up, we'll talk about it because it's your show. It's not mine or Gable's or Willie's or Tim's.
Wait a minute, what do you mean?
Anybody that's sitting here. We're just the instruments.
Facilitators?
That you can use to make stuff happen. So, first thing I want to talk about is, I guess, the first day of Congress. They went to work, and the president got cussed out. Somebody said, "Yeah, we're gonna impeach the MFFers and all that kind of stuff," and they said it out loud. So I guess they were making a statement.
A little ghetto.
But what that person and several of those people don't understand, you actually have to do something to get impeached. You can't just impeach a president because you don't like him or you didn't vote for him. Again, that sounds good. And in the reality world of CNN and a lot of those sources where people listen to get their news.
Oh, you mean fake news?
You can't just say, "I don't like this president. I didn't vote for him, so we're going to impeach him." Fact. Okay, some of you believe, some of you don't believe. Another thing happened. We had someone, a senator, propose a bill, a Democratic senator, propose a bill to get rid of the Electoral College.
They want to make it like Venezuela.
Well,
How's that working?
It's a reason the forefathers created the Electoral College. And it's probably one of the best things they did because it saves us from us. You know, Julius Caesar understood the difficulties involved with majority, or what's sometimes referred to as mob rule. You know, the majority don't always know what's best. They are just simply the majority. And it's a reason that that wasn't the form of government that our forefathers took and made America. They chose the form. See, we are a democratic republic, which is different than a democracy for those who have sixth grade civics. At least they used to teach that in sixth grade civics when I guess a half a century ago when I was
They're too busy teaching transgender stuff now.
when I was back there. So I'm just telling you, if you go to Eddie Adams Jr. on Facebook, or if you go to Porch Talk Radio website, you'll see what's called a map of county election results in 2016. And that in itself will explain to you why we need an electoral college. Again, the majority rule might as well just eliminate blacks, Hispanics, Asians, any other minority, because again, any election where you have the majority all believing, and not many of the majorities in this country will actually vote for anything other than their majority. Again, power.
Well,
you know.
and also to bring that, hear that voice.
Sound like God speaking.
Thank you. I didn't want to say that.
That was Gabriel. Not because of what you hear, because it's coming from the hallway, like it's coming from the ceiling.
An angel named Gabriel.
Yes, sir. That's right. Angel named Gabriel. I'm echoing everywhere now. So basically, if we were not an electoral college, we'd be the United States of California or the United States of New York, because they have a huge majority of population there, period. It has nothing to do with just politics in general, but just population. So those two states and another state out there, they would basically always rule on voting of whoever was up for office. So it'd be between California and New York and one other state, and those three states would always pick who would be the politicians for this nation.
Well, the Democrats shot themselves in the foot, you know, when they was last in power, because the nuclear option, you know, which means it takes 51 votes to make something happen in the Senate.
That's the gift that keeps giving.
When it used to be 60, but see, they was in power, and they forget that these things last long after they have gone. So a bad decision, you know, several years ago, now got these Democrats, you know, fussing and fighting with each other, because again, the way it used to be 60%, which is a major majority in the Senate to make stuff happen. But again, the Democrats were in power. They are short-sighted by nature. And so now we got one that's saying, okay, well, let's get rid of the Electoral College. Why do you want to get rid of the Electoral College? Because in the last election, the Democrats won the popular vote. So they think, oh, yeah, well, now if we do the electoral, see what happened in the next election, then you lose the you may win the Electoral College and you lose the popular vote, but then you're going to be upset because you shot yourself in the foot again. No, you shot yourself in the face again. So you got, you know, at some point in time, you think these people would learn, you know, that it's a good system. It works. And the reason you're losing is because you got bad policies and you got bad ideas, and the majority of the people are not following them.
Now,
Everybody
wait a minute. You sound like, no, Eddie.
Because you guys hate Trump.
It sounds like you're on a rant. Just because Obama's 8 years of power, he lost 1,200 seats of politicians for the Democratic Party. Just because.
But none of that is blamed on Obama.
Oh, absolutely not, because he was the Messiah. So just because the Democratic Party was the least in power since 1923 under Obama's reign, facts don't matter.
Well, they do, because now they want to get, the only reason they want to get rid of the electoral college, because, oh, they're smart, because they say, oh, we won electoral college, we lost the electoral college, but we won the popular vote. Yeah, that election, that's one election. They've been having elections here for a couple hundred years, and again, you have to figure out how to have better ideas, better policy.
You mean something to help the people,
control the issues better. That's why you lose. I mean, that goes for Democrats and Republicans. And the country and the population is changing. And so again, everybody in 2016 knew there was electoral college. And if you didn't, your fault. Again, if you understand politics, electoral college has been there for a while. So you knew at the beginning of the election there was the electoral college, and they would select who the president or who the winner of the presidential election was. You knew that. Everybody knew that. Okay, so when the election was over with, you lost the electoral college but won the popular vote. Now you want to change it. See, again, that's stupid. That's short-sighted, and that would lead this country, into.
Well,
I mean, we'll be Rome 2 or Rome 3, because that's what happened when you have majority rule.
if you just study the countries that have done it the way they want to do it now, or they want to eliminate the electoral college and make it into a, quote, true democracy. If we looked over at Venezuela, Cuba, if we looked at some of these countries that have failed miserably, and this has happened before, this is nothing new.
Sure.
So if history keeps repeating itself, if it's a failure to begin with, it will be a failure all the way to the very bitter end. You would think that these people would learn that it doesn't work, and they say, oh, we do it different in America. Oh, so if the government continues growing out of proportion and controlling every aspect like it did in other countries that have failed, and again, Venezuela is a great example. Why isn't Bernie Sanders over there campaigning for them? I don't understand. He wants socialism.
But see, socialism has never worked, and it's not worked for a reason. It's the basic concept of you spending other people's money. Eventually, you run out of other people's money. You cannot continue to spend money you can't put your hands in other people's pocket and keep taking their money, and they keep working hard for it. The reason people work hard in a democratic society like we have is that at the end of the process, you're working for yourself. You're working for personal gain. You're working to help your family and family members and people you actually like. Again, by working harder, creating more, you get to enjoy more of your own profits, enjoy more of your own labor. Again, working for free. Black folks got a couple 100 years of working for free, and at the end of the process, people say, "Oh, well, they're lazy. Oh, they're shiftless. Oh, they did every bad name you could think of." But them folks was garnering the profits, and black folks was getting the whip, and they getting sore and achy muscles and loss of culture and all kind of other stuff for free. And that was a socialist system, believe it or not, because the folks who was doing the work had no vote, had no choice, and again, at the end of the day, they still arguing about it. But what it was a form of domination, and at this point in time, we are smart enough to understand that because more people think a certain way, don't make it good or necessarily makes it bad. That's why getting rid of the electoral college is probably the baddest idea I've heard in the new year.
Why is it the people that are preaching socialism, why aren't they working for free if they believe what they were preaching was true? Why is it?
Because they're politicians. They're saying stuff that they think people
so
want to hear.
So as long as they stay in control with money and power.
But they're not in control. That's the good part. Trump's in control.
Well, but I'm saying they're preaching it. If they get themselves into power and absolute control, they're thinking they're going to stay with power and money and not be treated like the regular folk, which would be you and me down here say, hey, we need to eat, we need to take care of our families. But they keep preaching that they want it all free.
It's different in this country. See, that's the thing. But that's why we have a voice. That's why we got this platform. That's why we got this radio show. We can tell people, don't be stupid. Think about stuff. See, the thing about it, a lot of folks hear stuff and it sounds good and it goes in their ears and hang out a little while in between their two ears, but eventually, what's between your two ears got to deal with the real world, and this country will never go back to what it was before. You're not going to have, 5 or 6 million people working in fields and doing the stuff that the slaves did for free. So that means if I'm going to work, and I'm going to work hard, I'm going to work for my own best interest, not for somebody else's. So they may have all the good walls and all the good politicians and all the good people saying good stuff, but at the end of the day, those 535 people in Washington, D.C. that we call the Congress, which is the House and the Senate, them people getting paid $100,000-$200,000 a year to sit up there
And their benefits.
and look good.
And their benefits are subsidized.
And holler out stupid things to the community to see what sticks to the wall today and what don't stick to the wall tomorrow. So again, at the end of this process, I am here, Gabriel is here, and Willie is usually here to let you know that us folks here on Porch Talk Radio, we are not the status quo. For all the shows that you have been listening to all day, this Saturday and every Saturday, we're going to give you the other side. And particularly for black folks, I'm going to tell you, getting rid of, having somebody get rid of the Electoral College going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt anybody else in this country. Because again, at one day, we may be the majority, but that day ain't today and it ain't tomorrow.
And as we keep going forward, folks, you keep the prayers going, because we still need politicians to use their brain and think, and they are supposed to represent you. When they've made it very clear that they're going to spend the next 2 years fighting President Trump on everything he says and has done, you understand that takes your tax dollars funding those attorneys. They've already put the calls out for quite a few hundred attorneys to join on board. You're paying for those attorneys' fees. You're paying for the benefits that they're going to put on for those that are going to go into actually being a federal employee for the moment. They're going to do that, which I imagine some of them probably will, because they got relatives, I'm sure, in the government. So understand that when the Democrats say, the Democratic politicians right now say that they're going to ramp up and they're going to fight, they're not fighting for you. You're paying your bills, you're doing the best you can, you're going to work, you're dealing with traffic, with crappy potholes here in Tampa sometimes. You're living a day-to-day life. And these politicians have decided that they're going to use your hard-earned money, your tax dollars, to get a bunch of lawyers and spend the next 2 years just playing tiddlywinks and fighting in court every little thing that Trump says. Now, which part of the lowest unemployment rates do you not like that's been going on for the last 2 years? Which part of the the lowest unemployment for minorities, black and Hispanic, in our nation over the last years have you not liked? Which part of now we're collecting billions in money, tariffs, from China? We're collecting billions from China. Which part of that do you not like? I mean, let's just be straight here. So again, a lot of positive things are being brought to the table. We've got somebody fighting for America. Who's that? Well, that's you. And he's trying to save you some tax dollars. The other side, the Democratic Party, is coming to power, says, well, we want to spend it all we can. And you understand they want a resolution that will go till February. They want to do a temporary bill. This is what they did with Obama for his 8 years. They didn't have a budget, folks. They want to just keep printing up money like crazy. No budget. How long can you operate that way in your house, though? Just keep writing checks. How long does that work? It doesn't, folks.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to change the subject a little bit because I gotta talk about this. It's something that happened to me. I am chairman of the King's Kids Christian Academy.
That's a great organization. I like that out there.
Which is an inner city private school. Mm-hmm. And it goes from 6 months to kindergarten. And I am been chairman of that organization for about 10 years. And last night, we meet the first Friday of the month, 6 p.m., and the meeting usually lasts about an hour. So I got out of the meeting last night. We meet over at the 34th Street Church of God in one of the portables. And I got out of the meeting last night about 7 o'clock, and 7 o'clock, 7:30, went out to my truck to get in my truck. And I noticed I had a flat tire. Yeah, my front flat tire was flat. It rained last night, so somewhere I got something in the tire. And in the length of the meeting, it went flat. So I had to can of Fix-A-Flat in my truck.
How'd that work?
It worked badly.
Oh?
Because it was a can of Fix-A-Flat and appeared to be new.
Oh,
and
appeared.
well, like I say,
5 years ago.
I took it, put it on the tire, and pushed a little button, and some stuff came out, but not nearly enough to even get my tire off the ground.
Well, that's a big tire too now.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm working, and I said, okay, well, I'm start figuring out, okay, what's the closest place to walk to go get a can of Fix-A-Flat. I do have AAA, but I'm saying that's gonna take 2 hours,
Usually.
so I can walk somewhere and come on back and fix my car and get on the road. So I'm telling you because there's something to the story. So after sitting there, literally taking off the Fix-A-Flat because it's not gonna work, a car pulls up in the lot. Somebody who I did not personally know, but they knew me. And I'm wondering what I'm gonna do, and somebody pulls up and asks me, was I having a problem? Say, yeah, I got a flat tire. And so this person say, get in, I take you, we get some Fix-A-Flat. Again, out of the blue. I could not have, if I'd have picked up the phone and started, calling Uber couldn't have got there faster. By the time I finished dialing the Uber thing, this guy was there. So I got in the car, we went up to the dollar store on 15th and MLK, and I got 3 cans of Fix-A-Flat, came back and fixed my car, and I tried to pay him. I tried to give this guy some money. And he said no. He said, don't insult me. And I said, I'm really trying. I have no intention of insulting you.
You still got that money?
Put he turned his car so that the lights were shining on me, putting the Fix-A-Flat in, put the Fix-A-Flat in, my tire got up, but it didn't get up to where I needed to have it. So he said, well, there's a tire place up there on the corner of Nebraska and MLK. Like one store back. I didn't know where it was because he was trying to tell me, and I tried to picture it, but I couldn't recognize the place. So he said, I will take you up there. Follow me up there. And this guy, I followed him with the half-inflated tire into the place. He pulled in, said, this is the place. And I went and shook his hand, and he drove off. The tire place, put air in my tire, and I was good and been riding good ever since. But I have to tell you this story because inside at the meeting, I was talking with a good friend of mine, and she's a new member of King's Kids Boards. Constance Daniels. You've heard me talk about her before because her family and myself I have helped her solve some problems in the past. And me and Constance was talking, and I was telling Constance, I sit on 30-something boards and organizations. I'm chairman or vice chairman of 15 of them. And the reason I do that is because you never know when you're going to need some help. And God shows up. And when he shows up, it's God. There's an entity higher, better, more prepared, more able to help than you can ever help anybody else. And again, if for those who in Tampa Bay, it was raining like hell yesterday.
Yeah.
Last night, it had been raining. So I'm out there in the rain trying to fix my tire, and somebody pulls up. And I told him, I say, you are a godsend. Because I would have been out there dealing with this or having to walk somewhere in the rain, to get this done, spend hours of the evening trying to solve this problem.
Yeah.
And you literally showed up as if, like I had the bat signal and I shined it up in the air, and somebody came in and responded to the bat signal. So there is a God out there. There's things that happen that you cannot explain, and the fact that I spend a lot of time helping people that I do not know, and people ask me why I do it, I say, because you never know when you need someone else's help. You never know what situation you're in that somebody you don't know, somebody you could not have planned to come along at the right time to help you.
Right.
And at the end of the day, would not even take compensation for it.
Well, that's good. You ran across a good one. I was going down Hillsborough one time, and during traffic, and I had a little white Corsica, and the alternator went out on it, and I was in the middle of traffic right there, and out of nowhere, I'll say this big old boy, he's probably like 23, like a big football player, like the refrigerator, just showed up, said, "You need a push?" I'm looking like a little white boy in my little car. Uh-huh. And he just by himself just pushed my car around the corner, got me out of traffic, and he said, "You probably need a jump." I said, "Probably," and he just yelled at somebody driving by, "Hey, come here." And I don't know who it was, just came on over, gave us a jump, got me started, got me on down the road. Within like 5 minutes. Holy mackerel. God does care for us.
Yeah.
God does love us. And he will send angels out there. That man, I to this day, I don't know his name.
Yeah. But see, and that's the thing I'm saying. I'm saying that as a community, you know, we're probably the most religious people in the country, black folks, especially on Sundays. You know, and it's not just that. I mean, this community has to look out for itself. There's opportunities. There's lawmakers. There's citizens councils and appointments, all kind of political stuff, and everything. At some point in time that we deal with is political. Politics is a blood sport.
Big time.
I keep telling folks that a lot of stuff should happen, don't happen. A lot of stuff that you're wishing and praying for is not gonna happen because that's not the way you make it happen. But I'm gonna tell you, if the community helps itself, if the community forms and comes together, because I'm gonna tell you, the issues of the community ain't political in that we got Republicans and Democrats in the community. The community is the community, and if you're helping the community, I am telling you right now, you've heard me say this before, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're a Republican. I'm gonna throw something out there. At some point in time this year, maybe we may start up a black Republican council, a black Republican caucus. It's enough of us out there. I mean.
Is that allowed? I don't think that's politically correct.
I'm saying it out loud. See, cause that would actually scare some people. I mean, that actually makes some people mad. The fact that we have a lot and much more, many more than you actually think, black Republicans. So I heard someone today talking about the Democratic Black Caucus. Well, shit, they may have a Republican Black Caucus. I mean, it's enough of us. And again, we got a platform. I'm here every Saturday at 1:00 on Porch Talk Radio, and we're gonna be talking about anything people want to talk about. And my next, I'm gonna do on this day in history. Then our next conversation is gonna be about Tampa City Council, Tampa government, the new mayor. We're gonna talk about that next. So I'm gonna do on this day in history.
Roll into it.
So we can get it now, because I don't want to get caught up in this next conversation and then we end up forgetting it, and we don't want to forget on this day in history.
Heaven forbid.
Some people actually like it, some people don't, but the fact of the matter is
You're going to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway because it's my show.
That's right.
and I'm going to do it because in researching and coming up with this stuff, because we do this every Saturday, it's actually stuff that I learned. So there's some history in it, and it's real history, and I always try to make sure that there is some black stuff in there too. So something that affects this community that's not just history, but it involves our history. And here we go.
Hit it.
Okay. On this day, January the 5th, 1781, Richmond, Virginia was burnt by the British Navy expedition led by everybody's favorite U.S. trader, the only one that I actually learned about when I was in school, Benedict Arnold. He led the British expedition that burnt Richmond, Virginia to the ground. In 1925, on this day, January the 5th, Miss Natalie Taylor Ross was sworn in as the first governor of Wyoming. was sworn in as governor of Wyoming. She was the first female governor in the United States. That was in 1925. In 1933, in California, construction began on the Golden Gate Bridge. On this date in 1940, the U.S. Communications Commission, the FCC, got its very first demonstration of FM radio. And also, last but not least, on this date in 2002, a 15-year-old student pilot by the name of Charles Bishop crashed a small airplane into a building in downtown Tampa. Bishop was about to begin his flying lessons when he took off without permission and without an instructor. I'm quite sure you guys remember when that plane ran into the I think it was the Barnett building then, downtown Tampa, and it was a big deal. So that was, right after that, folks that had the 9/11 thing, and and that whole thing. So 9/11 was in 2001, 2001, but whenever it was, 2001. And then this was in 2002, so everybody was still trying to recover. And we got, I remember hearing folks saying, "Oh, we got people flying into buildings in Tampa," but again, it ain't quite the same. It ain't huge jets filled with jet fuel and hundreds of passengers on board. This was just a small plane here in Tampa. All right. I know I told you guys.
Told you so.
And I have said before that Republicans, and I'm speaking for the Republican Party, not as much as the official Republican Party, but we're gonna be involved in making and breaking candidates. And I told you, the Republican Party traditionally don't get involved in Tampa City politics, like mayor and council seats and all that thing, because usually they're not Republican candidates, and there's not a lot of Republicans involved. But that's a big freaking deal here, because it happens every 4 years that we have elections of mayor and elections to city council and those elections. And since we don't have any Republican candidates, we just kind of give it to the Democrats. Well, I told you I'm going to pick people that I'm going to sponsor. Now, I don't know if that means you got a caller or not. I think we have a caller? Okay, all right. Before we get into the next conversation, we do have a caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this Saturday afternoon. Give us your name and tell us what you want to talk about.
This is Brother Woody G. Dixon. Happy New Year to you and your host, co-host, and then to all your audience.
Well, thank you, sir.
Brother Eddie.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting ready to start my car and drive to Clearwater, but I want to make a couple of comments and then get your opinion.
Okay.
First of all, in my day, all money at one time was backed up by gold certificates. All of the dollar bills had that engraved on the money. Now,
gold and silver. Gold and silver.
And that means it means IOU.
Yes.
So our money is not worth too much. The next thing is this. I was listening to a young man. He's a government worker in Washington, D.C. He had to sell his blood in order to pay his bills. But yet, those who were in Congress, they were seeking an increase in pay. And the next thing I wish you would address, if our president, or if he is our president, if he says that the Mexicans are going to build a wall, why did he change his mind? Now he wants the American people to pay $5.6 billion to build a wall. I'll wait for your comments.
Okay. First of all, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it, I've said it before, Trump is a politician, okay? For anybody to understand, and for people to, I'm just saying, ain't no way to sugarcoat, take anything that Donald Trump say and stick it on the mountaintop like it was Moses or like it came from God is one thing. You can't hold Trump to a standard higher or better than you're doing to everybody else that's running the country and all these other politicians. Matter of fact, it used to be a time that it went out that you couldn't believe nothing a politician say. What Trump is doing, Trump is trying to keep all his promises from his campaign. It's not many politicians in this country do this. And again, he said that months ago, if not years ago, and he's still in the process of doing it. Matter of fact, the wall ain't built. Mexico may still build it. All he got to do is take that drug money from Chapo, and that was billions of dollars. And if he take that money, last I heard, Chapo was a Mexican. So again, okay, I know we got another call. So again, Trump may eventually end up building the wall with Mexican money again. But until that point in time, he'll be stupid to be sitting back waiting on that money to come when we got a multiple $1 trillion that we're spending on stuff, and most of it is more stupid than securing the country and building the wall.
Well, and all of us can stop and think real quick. If we're making money off of China with the billions,
I know we got a call.
I understand. If we got money we're making from the trade with Mexico, if we've got 3 wars we're stopping, we've got billions we're saving. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got over 5 million 1,000 times over again. No, it's not a direct check with the Mexican president's name on it, but we got it coming in from all these other directions. Even with the Mexico trade agreement we've got a ton of money right there. So people just misunderstand this, I believe.
Right. Well, it's an issue that they can say, and it's a gotcha. But again, it's not really a gotcha, because at the end of the day, we're talking about securing, millions of people in America that are currently being hurt by illegals that are here illegally. The money that we spend to feed and take care of them and provide health care for them, and the harm that they're doing, because they're killing American citizens.
Eddie, this is just the media
police.
playing. This is the media playing the people that don't
Right.
stop and think about it and look at all the other money we're making from Mexico.
Right. Okay, so caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio this Saturday afternoon. What say you? Hello? Happy New Year to you.
All right. The president, when he is sworn in, is sworn to uphold the Constitution. And the thing is that in life, you don't negotiate with a hostage taker. And the hostage taker, that's what basically President Trump is doing right now, as far as this whole quote-unquote partial shutdown.
Let me before you get too far down this rabbit hole, it's been about 10 different presidents that have held the country hostage and did these kind of shutdowns, including Barack Obama. So
And Clinton.
Well, Mr. Adams, the thing is that we're not doing a whataboutism. This is about like what is happening currently right now. And the thing is that he made a pledge that Mexico was going to pay for this wall.
okay, so he lied. Okay, that's what you want to hear, because he did. So he ain't the first president to lie to us. Remember, no new taxes. I'm
Keep
just
your
gonna.
doctors. Remember those lies?
Eddie, we're doing a whataboutism, because we can go down like the history of like.
But we have a limited time here,
What's
so
your point, buddy?
if you want to make a point, go ahead and make your point. That's what I'm trying to say.
The thing is that he is holding. There are people right now that are struggling.
Yes, we know.
He said he doesn't mind that the shutdown, and he owns the shutdown. You remember
No. I'm not gonna let you get away with that one. The Democrats own this shutdown. This is not Trump's shutdown.
This is a Democrat shutdown.
Yeah, this is
sir.
Democratic
You've been
shutdown.
listening to CNN too much.
Right.
How's the Democratic shutdown?
This is the Democratic shutdown.
They will not
Schumer
negotiate.
shut the country down.
When for the last couple of years, the Republicans had all the levers of Congress, and they wanted to fund, and with the senators as well, they had enough votes that if they wanted to use the nuclear option, that they could have pushed through as funding.
Well, see, they actually couldn't do that. They've never had 60 votes in the Senate, so they never could. They never could push it through.
The nuclear option, you know that.
He could not pass that with 51 votes. Again, they woulda if they coulda.
Okay, he exercise. The leader of the Senate can exercise the nuclear option just as they push through judges just basically upon majority if he wanted to do that. But they don't want to do that because what will happen is that when the Democrats have 50 plus.
If you was listening to the show earlier, when Barack Obama had the House and the Senate, his first 2 years, it was a whole bunch of stuff he could have pushed through
Like
that he didn't.
blew it off.
That he didn't because Congress is more difficult than CNN and any of those other people make it appear to be. If it was as simple as 51 votes, it would have been done. It's not that simple. And somebody who you've been listening to led you to believe that
CNN probably
that is not correct. That is not true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Trump said that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
We're past that, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's go forward.
Okay, make a point with something new.
He said use the nuclear option, Mitch. That's
Okay, we got another caller. We got another
Brother.
caller.
Appreciate your input, man.
Thank you. Okay, next caller. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio this morning. Hello?
How you doing?
All right, doing great.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
Same to you. Thank you for calling.
I want to reiterate what you were saying about Black Republicans and the Black Republican caucus.
Yes, sir.
We were Republicans first before we became Democrats.
True.
Yes.
In New Orleans, we held it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And in some kind of way, we got away from it. You know what I'm saying? And became Democrats. So how do we change that? Go back to being Republicans?
Well, people keep saying that the party switched roles and this and this and this. This country has been evolving since it became a country. So from time to time, the Democrats, because if you look at, John F. Kennedy now would be a solid Republican nowadays, but back in the 60s, he was a solid Democrat. So it's a lot of things that's happening, and I don't look forward to, or I don't wish upon the whole black community for all them to become Republicans again. What I do want and what I do need is for the federal government and the state government and local government to recognize that black folks are an important part of our communities and make sure, I know we got another caller, and make sure that black folks are shared out, not giving us anything that we haven't earned, but we pay taxes too. And all the major institutional government entities do not proportionately spend money in the black community or share the resources of the community with our community. If you look around Tampa, they spending money everywhere except for East Tampa and West Tampa. I mean,
Why is that?
Everybody's
paying taxes.
You can tell when you leave one community and go to the other community, and everybody's paying taxes. We pay just as much taxes as anybody else. So thank you for your comments, and hopefully you call again. Okay, next caller, sir. Hello? Hello, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. You're on the air.
Yeah, look here. Brian Charles, how you doing? Look here.
Doing great.
I can answer that question Mr. Dixon asked there. Look here. I don't know why black folks think for some reason people coming across that border illegally ain't coming to take their place. They come to take their place. We're already on the bottom of the barrel. We can get back on the top by having common sense. Donald Trump really ain't there to hurt black folks. You don't need to do that. I don't agree with everything he say, but you know something? There's a lot of things he's saying is right.
Yes.
These folks ain't come over here to be your friend. They come to replace you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and that's what we need to do: short, sweet, and make your point. See the thing that black folks don't realize. They think everything's about them. What they are trying to do with politics is politics about voting, and they trying to get a whole new voting block to come and do what they want them to do. So what they wanted, they're doing the same thing they used to do with black folks. They make them obligated, make them dependent, and then they'll vote for them because they think the government's going to give them some more money, some more benefits, and some more this and some more that. And if they get enough of them, then they can change the patterns of voting in America. Well, again, the whole idea is the Americans vote American. It's not other people come from other countries that have not invested in this country. They come and tell the electorate, we're the new electorate. Well, we got Social Security, we ain't put nothing in it. we receiving benefits, but we ain't putting nothing in it. Somebody leaving Mexico City and come to Tampa, Florida, and get benefits day one, and they're not putting anything in. So that's the thing that most of us are fighting against is that there's limited resources, and again, there's a whole bunch of money that's not making it to our community, even though we're paying taxes and doing our other stuff. And then we got other people who haven't paid anything in, come and day one they were receiving benefits. Again, I don't know about you, but I don't think that's right, and I'm not going to support it.
Well, it's obvious that the Democratic Party in Washington has left behind the minorities because they're too busy fighting for illegal aliens who contributed nothing to the system. And as a result, whatever the black cause may be or the Hispanic cause, Democrats right now care less because they're busy fighting with everything in them with your tax dollars that funds their benefits, subsidizes their benefits, with your tax dollars that pays their salaries, with your tax dollars that pays them to fly around the country. They are fighting for another country. They're fighting for people from another country. They've given up on the minorities, blacks and Hispanics in this country. That's why they're throwing everything they got into fighting for another country because they feel they can dumb those voters down and get them quickly to do amnesty. And they have a guaranteed block of power there with people that will vote for them just because they'll give them stuff. And the minorities in this country said, we're fed up with it. What else you got? How about a work program?
Right.
How about a rehab program? How about some kind of welfare reform? Let's help the community for real. Let's just start giving us free stuff, and suddenly we all become dependent on the government. And then we got what we're going on now. We got how many kids coming out of wedlock? And 75% in the minority neighborhoods out of wedlock. We know statistically, folks, it has nothing to do with how you feel about it. We know statistically, kids that are born out of wedlock are going to be majority in trouble with the law, majority in trouble with either teen pregnancies, majority we know with drugs. This is just statistics. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. But the government doesn't give a shit about any of us minorities. They're busy fighting for some other country's people right now.
All right. Well, so
That's my rant.
That's his rant. So this is what I said we were going to do. We're talking about the local government. Okay. I have at the top of my list here is the people who we are politically supporting for the next general election, which is in 2020. The top of my list is Donald John Trump for president, David A. Stratz Jr. for mayor, City of Tampa, Walter Smith II, City Council District 1, John Dingfelder for City Council District 3, Orlando L. Gould for City Council District 5. I know I said there's some of these races I couldn't pick because I had friends and all that kind of stuff, and I can't tell you to make a decision, go vote for people if I can't do it myself. So I'm taking too hard, and within the next couple of weeks, definitely before the election, I'm going to pick somebody in each of these races, and I'm going to help them. I'm going to push them. I'm going to take this platform and do whatever I can to convince you or sway you to vote for these people because I want these people to win. Again, there's no Republicans currently in any of these races, so you shouldn't have any problem because I'm just picking Democrats. So I'm picking Democrats. I'm picking the Democratic leadership that I think is going to help my community, the black community. It's going to help us do some things. And again, they were Democrats long before I picked them to support them. And again, at the end of the day, it's you as people actually having information on some of these candidates are listening to me all the time and make a decision that you're going to vote for somebody. And the information I give you may be that which help you vote for them, may be that makes you not vote for them. But whatever it is, my choice, my platform, and these are the people that I'm gonna support. So again, City Council, important, and I think it's important that we get black folks in these elected seats that's gonna benefit the community. I mean, we've got black folks elected before, but some of these black folks don't gonna say it like this. I ain't gonna say they don't act black, or they're not black, but they're not beneficial black. Take that, write it down. Beneficial black folks that help our community. That's what I'm looking for. Because at the end of the day, just having somebody get elected because they black is not doing the community any good. And we've had years and years and years of that, and we've seen the results of that. And if you're gonna change Tampa Bay, you're gonna make a difference in your community. You're gonna make sure you get the return on your taxes. Like you invest into the city, you get it back into your community. The only way you're gonna do that is get somebody that understands being black in Tampa Bay. Again, because you live here and because you're black, don't make you understand that. You gotta be a person that's willing to stick your neck out for the community. Because if you're gonna make it better, you're gonna get challenged. And the fact that it's only gonna be one black or maybe two blacks this cycle in city council. Matter of fact, you can have 3 or 4 blacks in city council this election because you got that many running in the different districts. I mean,
But they're not gonna allow that.
But we know District 5, we're gonna get somebody black. Everybody in that race is black.
That's allowed. That's been permitted.
Yeah, so that's what we've always had. That's what we always settle for. But ever since I've had a radio show, and that's been 9 years, I have been trying to talk the community in. You are significant enough to have 2 on city council, maybe 3. 2 or maybe 3 county commissioners, because the population is big enough. You just have to get together and take that one that they're going to give you and then take one other. Nothing is ever given. Nobody's going to give you a seat, especially in an election, with the power that the county commissioners hold.
It's a blood sport.
With the power that the city council people hold. Take another seat. On the school board, take another seat. Again, that's within our power. And again, I ain't talking about us becoming Cleveland or Detroit.
Oh, please no.
Some of those other loser cities. And I said it, so I
It's not politically correct, Eddie.
Hopefully, I get a bunch of folks, called upset with me because I'm saying the truth. And if you want to say it's not the truth, then prove it.
And that is completely Democrat controlled.
Yes,
cities.
Those
Baltimore.
That's why I call them out.
Detroit, Chicago, between the commissioners.
Right. Yeah.
The council.
The mayor.
The mayor.
Right.
Yeah, it's bad.
And I'm not just saying this to downplay and talk bad about blacks. I'm just saying at some point in time you got to grow up and be beneficial to your community.
Yeah,
and if you ain't beneficial to your community and you get elected, you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm saying that. So we got some good potential people that's out there running for offices now, this cycle, last cycle,
that are community minded,
that are new people who understands the process. They couldn't all get elected because you only got one winner in each race. That's the nature of the game we're playing, and we got to stop playing it for play. We got to play it for real, play it for keeps, and make sure that when you put your time, energy, and invest your thoughts and your experiences and whatever policy ideas you got, these people will take your call, they will listen to you, and they will react to the positive. So with that saying, I know we only got a couple minutes left on the show. I want to give Gabriel his last crack at it, but thank you for calling, thank you for listening to the show, and we're going to be back, and we're going to be here, and we're going to keep rocking the boat. So go, Gabriel.
Folks, for you guys that are hung up on the CNN talking point that President Trump said that Mexico is going to give them the $5 billion for that, please understand there's a bigger picture. When you're talking from a business standpoint, and Trump is a business person, the fact that the trade agreement, NAFTA, has been thrown out the window because it was horrible for America, the fact that money's going to be made through the new agreement, there's money coming in many different directions. The fact that you want a check written by Mexico, signed by the president, I don't see that ever happening.
That's just part of the game. Folks just want that because if it happened tomorrow, then they'll be upset and they'll find something the next day.
New.
So
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening. Look forward to hearing, seeing, and being a part of your life next Saturday, 1 o'clock, Porch Talk Radio. Thank you.
God bless America.